Ciaran, cup final this weekend. There's been an extra buzz about the place in the build up to this one.
I think there's been a buzz for quite a while, really, with things. Spoke about it as staff around with the players, around where we've come from since November to here, leading up to what will be a great occasion at Hillsborough on Sunday, one which the girls are really looking forward to and have thoroughly deserved, I think, for their application and their kind of commitment to what we wanted to try and do here. It's always nice to be in a final, always nice to be in that hunt and in the hat to get some silverware. You know, I think the club's been missing that for quite a while now, so we have a chance to put right last year where we came so close, and also to try and symbolise what we want to be as a football club moving forward. So it's a really good opportunity, one we're really looking forward to. A really tough game as usual. You know, it's a standard practice, but I do believe if we turn up and we apply ourselves in the right way, we'll compete, and that'll be good enough.
You mentioned among all that, but the confidence in the group must be really high at the minute, given the results that you've picked up against the calibre of opponent you've picked them up against. Yeah, well, I think all around Club Doncaster there's a bit of a wave that everybody's riding at the moment. We've had some really good results. We've had some good performances and not got results, and vice versa. But there's a real feeling that I have around the club, around the players, that we're building something here. I think it's important that we have had those good results as well, because externally I think that's, you know, it's significant in symbolising on the periphery about what we're trying to do as a club, certainly from a recruitment perspective, for instance. So that's helped, but internally there's been major developments, major improvements. I still think we're scratching the surface of what we can do, what we want to do, the way the game is going. And just to have the girls fully committed to that as a group I'm really proud and feel really privileged to be the one that's the manager of it all. Having said that, there's been some real challenges that we faced across the season. It's become a much more competitive environment, and I think that's great. But of course, that breeds that little bit of edginess around the squad, because everybody wants to play. And I spoke to the girls during the week really about, you know, for me this is, and it is hard because I've been a player, and everybody wants to play every minute of every game. But we don't sign 11 players as a club because it's just those who start games. You know, I always say it doesn't really matter how many minutes you play. It's essentially about what you do in those minutes. And I appreciate if you play longer minutes, more minutes, that there's more opportunities. I get that, but it's more about that concept and mindset around contributing in whatever way that may be. And I don't sit and look at who's played the most minutes. I look at who's contributed to the positive environment and culture that we wanted to have here. And that's the success, that's the measure of success in terms of how we grow as a club. Obviously the results are a measure of our success in leagues and cups and externally, if you like. But in terms of, I'm a big believer in trying to really nail down this attitude that it's a group of players that support each other to end up going onto a field to get a result that then helps the club push up the leagues. And it's not easy to get all of those characters together, and certainly coming into this environment in November, you know, essentially we've not changed too much in terms of personnel. I was very clear, and I think I've said to you before, that I wanted to enable the girls to have the chance to show that they can aspire to the standards, if you like, that I wanted to see and visualise. I still think we've got a long way to go, but give them that opportunity rather than just rule people out, which is very easy to do as new management, to change things. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to change something, but it wasn't necessarily changing the people, because ultimately success is measured and achieved by the people that you have. And we have some really special people, and we know it's a challenging environment, this industry. Players do come and go, but you know, this has been a really great season for us in a lot of ways, aside of where we came in results-wise and the league-wise. But in a lot of ways, this has been very special, and it would be great, not entitled, but it would be great to go on Sunday and really put on a great performance to show how far we've come as a team. And again, I think if we do that, we'll be there or thereabouts. It's going to be mega tough. We're playing a team from a higher division, under no illusions about that. But we have our own measurements that we've spoken about what we feel this game represents for us, and that's what we'll be looking to achieve.
And the players have risen to the test of teams that have been doing well in our own division this season. So an opportunity to test yourself against one from a higher level will be something that everybody's relishing.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I watched the game at rugby, I thought the girls gave a good account of themselves in the cup. I remember going in at half time, it was before I kind of officially come in the week after, and I'd gone in to speak to them about how well I thought they'd done against top opposition, in terms of their levels. For us, it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we want to try and meet head on. We want to be involved in these situations, in these games. Listen, I'm under no illusions about where we are in the league. I get we've come into a difficult situation. It was always going to be a challenge to get up those places. I think we've done immeasurably well in terms of the results we've had. We've had some great results against top teams who are, ultimately at the top of the tree in the division, and that's fine, and one team will get promoted and it won't be us this season, and I get that. I get where we sit with that. But in terms of us being able to turn up and have the belief that we can compete and win games against anybody in the division that we play in, and certainly fancying our chances in a cup final, regardless of who the opposition is, that there's something to be said for that, from where I felt the feelings that the players had when we came in as staff, and what we needed to do with that. And there was so much that we wanted to change in terms of becoming a much more positive performing environment, and we've really seen that. And I fully expect the girls to be nervous about the challenge, but a nervous excitement about going out and playing on a big stadium again, and we've had the privilege of being able to do that here and getting a little bit of a feeling with that. And then just seeing what transpires, and just learning within the game and adapting and having that real sense of uncertainty, but that invigorates you to do well. So I'm excited for them with that. It'll be business as usual how we prep for it. There's no real issues there, no changes there. And hopefully we'll come out of it on the right side with some silverware, and also really important is a really good performance of what we want to represent ourselves as the football club.
How much would it mean to you personally to bring some silverware back to this club? It's been the club synonymous with winning things over the history, some tough times in more recent years, but to be able to be the person that helps to bring that back in. I know you're going to say it's a collective effort and all that, but you personally...
You know me too well.
Yeah.
Listen, it'll be, from a personal perspective, there's already been a lot of successes this season that I'll hold in my heart forever, regardless of what happens. And I know it's been a short space of time. Again, I get it. I get the industry. So there's a lot of great things that have been happening that mean so much to me that I don't really need to say on camera. But yeah, essentially, we've spoken at length about what we want to be as a football club, and against all other football clubs that want to be great, right? I get that. But we have to have something. We have to start somewhere with it, and the club has had such a great history, and in kind of recent years, for whatever reason, it has eluded them success. So we have an opportunity to do something that's a small step to symbolise what we want to be. Back in the day, if you like, the club was synonymous with winning trophies, with picking up silverware, regardless of the competition. And for us, this is an opportunity, like it was last year where they unfortunately missed out, to have another go at getting that. And I just think I can see that means something to everybody involved, the players, the staff, the club as a whole. And it's important that we go and put on a show. And like I said, there's there's certain pressures that come with that. Not necessarily with me, because I'm okay with that. You know, we do our work. Our work's of a high quality. We're okay with that. You know, regardless of the result, we've done our bit. But with the players, they'll feel a little bit of pressure, and we've tried to prep them ever since they've come in to be able to deal with situations like this. If you think back in the day, it was about getting a result when we came in. You know, because we're struggling for that really against decent teams. So we had to address that. That pressure was there. It's just a different outcome that we're looking at here, which is a final and which is silverware, and you know. But I know the girls will turn up ready to have a go and apply themselves in the right way. And I think it'll just be a case of who can manage those moments in the most intelligent way. Will be the ones that'll create those opportunities to come out on top. But to be able to be a part of bringing silverware, which is a symbol of success, whether we like it or not, back to the club is, you know, will be really special for me personally, as well as the staff who work unbelievably tirelessly to try, and under-resourced, to try and create an environment here where people want to be in. And I do feel that players want to be here, and players want to come here, and that's testament to all of that hard work. Listen, I'm here doing this interview, okay, and that's fine, because there is always a manager. But this success that we've had so far, you know, relatively speaking, is the sum of a lot of parts. And, you know, they know who they are, and they know the contribution they've made. And without them, and without that, you know, we would be nothing.